We're back for Hump Day with Hollywood Hay at Churchill today. A little tongue twister there to get started. It looks like a beautiful day at the Louisville track. Mr. Terry, how you doing, Race Masters? Thanks for joining us today. If you're in the watching us, wherever you're watching us, make sure you say hi. Make sure you subscribe or follow us on whatever social site, whether it's X or Twitter, Facebook, right here on YouTube. Hit the subscribe button. If you're following us on Facebook, make sure you follow us there too. Our Swiss Army Sean puts a tremendous amount of fun information, positive information out about the sport. And then we're back. Terry, you ready to rock and roll today?
Yeah, let's go.
All right. Well, before we get going there, you might want to head on over to Guaranteed Tip Sheet. Some free picks today at Beltella Park. Should be a good day over there. I feel like when I went through the handicapping there yesterday, some decent prices and some horses that looked like they had a chance than most to win. So keep an eye out on that. There is a link in the description down below. Speaking of descriptions, Terry, it's now your turn to give us the description of the conditions for race number 1.
All right. It's 6 furlongs. It's a $30,000 claiming race. Purse $56,000 for 3-year-olds and upward, which have never won 3 races, or 3-year-olds.
And at Churchill Downs, the sort of horse that tends to win at 6 furlongs is one that does have some early speed, Terry, about 22% of the time. So Emmitt Smith, yes, indeed, the best running back in football, gets wire to wire. There's a little bit of a rail discount for a bettering. 2 and 3. They get a bonus, so they get the benefit from the ones suffering. 4 through 7, they get discounted, but the very best place to be is post 8 and out in the opener. Looking at race number 1, Terry, we do 10,000 simulations. There aren't 8 horses, so you're not going to get that benefit from out there. We want to see which horses, according to our simulations, will be the winners to the quarter-mile marker, or what percent chance they have to be the winner there. Too bad we can't bet on that. C-Zone measures based upon our projected pace, how comfortable or how closely this race will match their best performances. Inner 10,000 simulations, how many times have produced a speed figure at or above the par for this level. And according to Brisnet, that's Michael Irvin, 88. So it means 3,580 times Express Cruiser did top 88 or hit it. And then we're looking for some simulation odds. We want to find value. Horses whose post-time odds are higher than our simulated odds. Terry, looks like every horse has some chance to get to the lead, but 2 look just a little bit faster than the rest.
Yeah, the 4 has the most speed, followed up by the 3, and then the 5 shows a little bit. The other ones are pretty low. The 2 has a small overlay, 2-1 to 5-2, and the 3 has an overlay from even money to 3-1. The 6 has the only par plus number, and all of them have good C-Zone numbers, except for the 4 is a little bit light.
I had to get a VPN for something for work. I absolutely hate it. I don't know if anybody else has one, but because I needed to get a dedicated IP address to do some stuff like file transfer protocols, and it just completely messes with my internet connection because it's changing IP addresses and all that sort of stuff. And I got to disconnect it. And then when I put the VPN on or I turn it off, it's like if I logged in and logged out to everything over and over and over again. Has anybody got any tricks on how to get around that so that my computer, it doesn't always play games on me? Churchill race number 1, 6, Express Cruiser, and 5, Speak of the Devil for Race Masters. If Race Masters, you have some thoughts about any races today, kindly share them. We're now going to share our thoughts today for the race shape here, or trip handicapping as they call it. No real pure front runner in that a horse is lead dependent, though the 6 horse Race Masters pick Express Cruiser can be on the lead or co-pilot. The 4 wants to co-pilot. The 1, 2, 3, and 5 are PC types. They really can be just about anywhere on the track. So they have a lot of versatility. No inherent pace advantages from my perspective, Terry. Western Command looks like it's a little bit faster than everybody else out of the gates. And then on the way home, the horse with the most legs is JP Race, along with Tim Tail and Express Cruiser. Those 3 considerably faster than everybody else down the stretch. Our top 4 total pace horses are the 3, 6, 4, and 2, with the 3 and 6 a little bit better than the rest. These four usually produce the winner. Terry, your handicapping produced the winner. Who is it?
It's number 6. I like Express Cruiser. He won his last race at Churchill Downs, has the highest last race speed rating, has a trainer who wins 20% of the races in the first race after claiming a horse, and he has a high percentage winning jockey. Speak of the Devil is number 5, my second choice, has a high percentage winning jockey and trainer, and the best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters. Tim Towel, the 3, is my third choice. He also has a high percentage winning trainer, and he has the highest speed figure at today's distance. The 4 is my long shot. Western Command ran second versus similar in his last race, has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. We have a $100 budget, and what we do each race is play $2 to win on our first choice. And then we play a $1 exacta box on our first 2 choices, a 50-cent trifecta box on our first 3 choices, and a 10-cent superfecta box on our first 4 choices. That's an $8.40
Commitment
amount. Yeah. And so it leaves us a little bit, about $24 to basically use other places.
Oh, there's 9 races today. I bet too much money. Huh? I thought there was only 8. I have to take one of my bets out, but we'll let you show it and then I'll delete it. All right. Western Command, the 4 horse, is the one I'm going to take. This one just missed in its last race at this level. Today's the second up after a layoff. That horse will be better today than it was then. I hope. Anyway, the 6 horse Express Cruiser won with ease the last time out, and it upped its speed figure in the last 3 races. That is an alpha angle, according to Barry Meadows. Tim Tail, the 3 horse, gets my third call. That is our simulation favorite in here. Has the most back class. If he can find it, he wins. But first off, the bench record isn't all that encouraging. And then somehow I managed to throw out the one that's going to be the race time favorite right now. It looks like the 5, Speak of the Devil. But I'm going to go with JP Race. Chance to improve in its second start after a layoff. And at times does pair up very solid races. So this race in the opener looks like it can be pretty much wide open. One thing that is for certain is that a little later on today, Terry and I will post the picks for Churchill Downs over at horseracingtoday.net. You'll see it right here in the middle of the screen. You won't be able to miss it. There's a link to the description, and then you'll see, along with the copy of the video, if it ever opens. This is what I mean by this damn VPN just messing with everything, slows, because I think it checks everything before it opens anything. But you'll see a replay of the video and all of our comments that we share on the show today, along with our picks. You'll find them there. And while you're there, kindly click up on this link here, the Horse Racing Today gear. Get yourself a See You in the Winner's Circle t-shirt. You will not find that anywhere else. And I assure you, when you wear it, many people will ask you, where did you get that? Because that's the most common thing I hear. All right, looks like race 1, Mr. Terry, is about to get going as they're loading into the gates, and they are indeed off and running. It looks like the 1 horse got a terrible break, so bettering, if you bet it, you're probably not too happy at this moment. The 3 horse, Tim Tail, that's the one that's on the lead right now with the 5 sauntering to its outside. You got the 4 and then the 6 in the kind of riding in that second tier, and then a little bit of gap back to the 2 horse. They go through the turn in the opening quarter and kind of fast, 21 and 91. So it seems to be a little bit quick. Wouldn't be surprised if some of the horses sitting there in second and third and fourth don't run these 2 down. They are trying to close that gap right now. That 1 horse that got off to an awful start is really hustling to do his best. And then around the corner they come. The 3 horse has taken to the lead. The 5 horse has given way. You have the 4 and the 6 giving chase. I don't know that they're going to catch that 3 horse that's running away like a madman, although the 2 horse is coming with some vigor on the outside. But it looks like this race is going to go 3, then 2, then 4, then 6, and then the 1, and then the 5 just kind of walking home. So looks like the bettors on the ground with Speaking in the Devil were off on that race. But the 3 horse are our third pick coming in, Terry, over our 4 horse. So it looks like we have at least in our picks. Will be interesting to see if they have the superfecta at all in there. We'll find out in a minute. All right, let's move on and find out what our thoughts are about race number 2 today at the Louisville track.
Okay, well, we're going to stretch out to a mile. It's a claiming race, $10,000 claiming price, $31,000 purse. It's for 3-year-olds and upwards, which have never won 2 races.
Yes, and I know it's Louisville, but I just want to trigger all the people who live in Louisville. At 1 mile on the main track there, it is a 1-turn mile, folks, and it's kind of important to know if it's a 1 or 2-turn mile. 1-turn miles, they tend to act a little bit more like sprints than routes. You have to be a little bit better fitness to make those 2 turns. So still, you got to be fit, just not as fit in most cases. At 1 mile, what you're looking for are speed horses. 1 out of 5 wins gate to wire. The rail is fair for Red Line Overdrive. 2 and 3, a bit of a discount. 4 through 7, they get a bonus. 8 and out's fair. So really, the only place it looks like it's a tough spot to be is in posts 2 or 3. Terry, who has the juice when the gates open in race number deuce?
Well, as you can see there, the 1 and the 2 have pretty similar speed ratings in there, so they could go head to head to the quarter pole. And then there's a couple of others that have some speed. The 1 shows an overlay of about 2 to 1 to 9 to 5 to 5 to 2, and the 5 has an overlay from about 4 to 1 to 6 to 1. 4, 1, 5, and 6 show the par plus numbers, and all but the 3 show C zones, and they're all pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Most of these horses should catch a race they like, except for Star Nation. That one might be in a different world at the end of the race. Our race shape for race number 2, we do see the 3 horse so far, not within 5 lengths. So maybe he'll be in a different zip code again today when the race is over. 1 and 5, they want to be your pace setters. 2, 4, and 6, they want to close. So pretty clear, right? Get to the front. You have a good chance to probably wire this field today. Looks like Red Line Overdrive and Freaky Z. Those 2 are the quickest, although Veracruzan and Summer and Aiken, not all that far behind. So 4-horse race. Freaky Z being a left arrow horse, but if it has some late speed, could be dangerous too. Looks like Red Hill, the closer, has the most, about a length quicker than everybody else, but probably 2.5 lengths off the lead early on. So it's going to have to scoot up a little closer to the front than it has so far to maximize its late race ability. Our top total pace horse in here is Red Line Overdrive. But you can see, with the exception of the 3, who will probably finish in a different zip code, only 9 points separating the top 5 horses. So a pretty competitive race with a little bit of an edge to these 3 up in here, Terry, or with these 4 right here. Who do you think is going to win?
Well, I like the number 4, Veracruzan. He has a high percentage winning trainer who wins 30% of the races when taking a horse down 2+ classes, and he has a high percentage winning jockey. And then the 1, Red Line Overdrive, is my second choice, finished 3rd versus similar in his last race as the favorite, but has a high percentage winning trainer who wins 21% of the races when bringing a beaten favorite back to race again. And he has a high percentage winning jockey. And that combination the last 14 days, been in the money 4 out of 8 starts with 2 wins. Summer and Aiken, I guess, number 5. He has a high percentage winning trainer, wins 37% of the races when he drops a horse off of a claim, and he has a high percentage winning jockey. Then the 6 is by long shot, Red Hill. He drops in class today and has the highest last speed rating. I'm going to play a 50-cent pick 4. It's a Miami Vice Don Johnson. I'm going to use the 1-4 with the 1-2 with the 3, 4, 5, 6, and 8. Finish up with 3, 4, 5, and 6. That's a $40 ticket.
I'm going to start with the 1, Red Line Overdrive. It is our second choice according to our simulation odds, but horse did regress last time out. If you look through the past performances, regress, and then usually a pretty big rebound next time out. Today is the bounce back for Red Line Overdrive. In Red Hill, Terry, you did mention he had the top last race speed figure. Okay, that's a top line item. But if you read between the lines, you'll see that this horse ran about 1 second to 1.5 seconds faster in its last effort. That's signs of improvement to build off of that speed figure. Summer and Aiken, the 5-horse trainer, as you mentioned, Michael Pino, big winner when he drops off the claim. And he's got 2 maintenance workouts in between to sharpen the saw for the first time up and the drop. And then Veracruzan, the 4-horse. This one is your morning line favorite. Has run the best at Churchill Downs. 3 out, 1 win, 1/3 in there. Most of the others in this race have really not found their footing at Churchill Downs. I feel like I should probably put the 2 in here too, but I can and still have. I should, because I would still have. I'm going to put the 2 in there. To hell with it. That way, Freaky Z, if it gets out to the lead, that'll make my bet exactly $50. So why not, right, Terry?
Right.
So I'm going to go all, and then 2, 5, 3, 5, and then 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in the end, because I really do feel like race number 2, really anything can happen, because again, most of these horses have really fought it at Churchill Downs. Terry would be a good caddy. I think you were a caddy at one time, weren't you?
I was in high school. Yeah.
Were you a good one? I mean, I'm trying to put the ball on a tee for you, Terry.
I was good. I was requested by a lot of the golfers a lot of times. So
that's nice. I've never been a caddy because I'd probably throw the clubs for them. Can you imagine? I want to throw my club and just hand it to the caddy, and the caddy just whips it. That would be funny.
Yeah.
Hopefully our picks aren't hilarious either. In race number 3 today, Terry, what's happening?
Okay, it's 7 furlongs. It's a maiden $92,000 purse. It's for maidens, 3-year-olds.
All right, so I have to put the sip aside. It's probably just a habit. Race number 7 at 3 at 7 furlongs. You're looking for stalkers. Interestingly, I'm noticing that when these 7 furlong races appear, it's like this is like the distance where speed appears to be the least significant in terms of its additional benefit. Only 13% go wire to wire. And when we do parks, 7 furlongs is also the distance where speed is the least important. There is a big rail bonus for Capital Connection here. 2 and 3, they get penalized. 4 through 7 play fair. 8 and out, almost as good as the rail. But once again, we're not going to get enough horses to benefit from that 8 and out position. Terry, who's going to benefit from the early speed, however?
Well, the 1 has the most speed, followed up by the 5 and the 2. But I think that 1, if it gets a good break, should get to that quarter pole first. The 2 has an overlay from about 4 to 5 to like 7 to 5. And that's about it on the overlays. 2, 5, and 1 show the par plus numbers, especially that 2. And all of them show some kind of C-zone numbers, although the 1 and 2 are a little bit weak.
Yeah, and then race shape or trip handicap. And we do see the 1 is a loney, wants to be 4. 2 and 6, they want a co-pilot. 3 and 4, so far they have 5, pardon me, have not been within 5 lengths of the leader at the finish line, although many of these horses, just a couple of races, so no big deal. And Returned is going to go to the track for the first time today. Not quite sure what that will bring to the table. But we do know early on that the 1, the 2, the 5, they're all pretty similarly in terms of early pace, the way they act. As we come down the stretch, Libambo, the 3-horse, that one will be closing the most, but not a big enough edge over everybody else to make up the ground it's probably going to give up early. And then our top total pace horses, you got 2 of them in here that look like they're a step ahead. The 1, the 2, 5-horse Gagliardi, about a length behind, but maybe some reason to think it can make that up today, Terry. Well, what do you think is going to happen?
Okay, well, I start out with number 2, Run Jalen Run. He finished 3rd versus similar in his last race as the favorite. He has a high percentage winning trainer, wins 18% of the races when he brings a beaten favorite back, and his best dirt speed is fast among today's starters. The 1, Capital Connection, is my second choice. Finished in the money in 4 out of 5 races at Parks Racing, only beaten 2 lengths in the last race. The Rail Post is winning at a 18% clip, and he has a high percentage winning trainer who wins 20% of the sprint races that he has a horse running in. And then the 5, I'm not going to try to pronounce it anyway. He has a high percent winning trainer and a good workout on June 7th. 3, La Bombo is my long shot, has a high percentage winning trainer, wins 27% of the races when taking a horse from a maiden claiming to a maiden race. And no additional bets in here for me.
Yes, you better look out for Gagliano. Don't you have to say it with a little bit of body language and hand gestures too, right? I have some Italian in my bloodline, so I'm allowed to say that. I'm going to start with Gagliardi as my pick. I mean, the 1 and the 2 are your very likely favorites to get this race going. I really favor the 2 much over the 1, as Terry did. But if there's going to be an upset, It's going to be the 5 horse for Hall of Famer trainer Bill Lamont. If this one improves at all off of its first race, its debut, it'll be right in there battling it out with the 1 and the 2. And it has 4 workouts since its last race. So I think it's going to be more fit today. And I'm going to put $10 to win on the 5 horse because I think the 1 and 2 will attract all the money and we might actually get some value on that guy. Unless, of course, he's been putting some great workouts on the track and everybody else will do the same thing. I do think the 2-horse Run, Jalen Run is your most likely winner, perhaps one of the most likely winners on the card today. Churchill Downs is a tricky track. Mike Smith, the Hall of Fame jockey, told us all about that. This horse at Churchill Downs has run 3 times with a 2nd and 2/3. And if you look at his past races, all but one of the 8 races, the speed figures, the performance, the fractions, everything would be good enough to win this race. No other horse can make that claim. Capital Connection, the 1 horse, wide trip in its last race, may have cost it the W. So moving inside to the rail will fix that problem. And then finally return to the 4 horse. That's the first time starter. Does have a bullet and go workouts. What do I mean by that? So the last workout before the horse goes to track is a bullet workout. And it does also satisfy that 4 times the distance, right? So 5 furlongs equals 60 seconds, right? So, 5 times 12, not 4. So 60 or 1 minute. So it does satisfy that as a real bullet. And that wins at 15% or more, according to our friend Barry Meadows. That's a pretty good number to win at. Race number 4 is next, and hopefully we can hit at a good rate on this one too. So what do we got cooking here, my friend?
Well, we got a 6 furlong. It's a claiming race, 20,000, first 52,000 for 4-year-olds and upward.
And at 6 furlongs, the type of horse that does find its way in the winner's circle most frequently has early speed, 22% going wire to wire, a little bit of a rail discount, which looks like it's going to be Soaring Bird in this case today because there are some scratches here. And then 2 and 3 get a bonus, 4 through 7 a discount, 8 and out. I think there's only 5 horses in this race, Terry. So that doesn't really make a difference for us in race number 4. So what do you see in terms of what's left for speed?
Well, they all show some kind of speed in here, but the 5 has the most speed, but it's really anyone's guess who gets that quarter pole first. The 3 has an overlay from even money to 5 to 2, and the 4 has an overlay from about almost 5 to 2 to 5 to 1. The 3, 4, 6 show par plus, especially the 3, and all but the 5 show C zones.
Yeah, indeed. And then in this truncated race, 5 horses, they all run the same running style. So flip of the coin. What are they going to do today? Well, they can pressure or they can be up on the lead. So fortunately, it doesn't much matter where they get. Someone's going to pressure. Looks like Samurai Prince is the one that might step forward here and take the lead. Although GT 500, that one might give him a little bit of a test. This might be one coming down the stretch here, Terry. It's all pretty similar. The biggest in-race advantage looks like Soaring Bird's late speed, 5 points better than GT 500. Those 2 grade out as your top total horses and top total pace. Really, it looks like Robo Man is the only one that might not fit. Even Fitzpatrick, there's a 10-point drop off to him. So the 3, 4, and 6 from a total pace advantage, they look like the ones that have the best chance to win. But I remember what Scott Felder told us in our show, How to Win Handicapping Contest. He said in 5-horse races, take the longest shot on the board, which will be Robo Man for sure. Neither one of us have that guy, Terry. We have the other 4 inside of him, ranked on the top the same, but a little bit different after that. Why is Soaring Bird going to win?
Well, he won his last race at Churchill Downs, and he has a high percentage winning trainer who wins 27% of the races when dropping a horse off a win, has a high percentage winning jockey. The 4 is my second choice. GT 500 drops in class today, has a high percentage winning jockey and trainer as well. The 5 Fitzpatrick is my third choice. He finished 4th in his last race after having trouble during the race, drops in class today, has the highest speed figure at today's distance. Number 6, Samurai Prince is my long shot, has a high percentage winning trainer, and he can handle the distance. No additional bets in here for me.
All right. So for moi, I'm going to start off with a 3-horse, just like you, Terry. Great minds at times think alike. Some of the other horses that were in this race that got scratched out, got moved out, which were higher ranked. This was the highest ranking horse left for me. 7 high-quality races in a row, drops off a win, and has a pair of workouts in between. So this is one of those rare situations where a horse won a race, but probably because of time passing, qualified to run at a lower level than it just ran at. So should have every reason to make it 8 high-quality races in a row and maybe another win, back-to-back W's. Fitzpatrick, Terry, 3rd race after a layoff. Everybody knows that handicapping angle. Does have a bullet workout between those races, so I expect him to be sharp. And last time out, increased his late speed. So get off to a fast start today, which is probably going to be the leader. It's got more late pace last time out. Add A plus B. That equals C plus squared, which is the bullet between 2 workouts. Pythagorean theorem of horse racing. The 6 horse, Samurai Prince. This one is a par plus horse. We see that in there. Does also have a chance to be involved in the mix early on. And then finally, GT 500. It is our 2nd par plus horse. And here it is, our top C-zone horse as well. I just feel like those top 4 horses are in there. I mean, the 8 horse is probably the odd man out. No bets for me, Terry, in this spot in a 5-horse race. In a contest, play the 8 horse because that's what all of the pros will do. In race number 5, Terry, as we make our way to the midpoint of this 9-race card, we go back to 1 mile.
Yep, we're stretching out to a mile for maiden claiming, $30,000 claiming price, $50,000 purse for maidens, fillies, and mares, 3-year-olds and upward.
And again, at a mile, it is that 1-turn mile, as you see over here. Does give the horses that get to the front an advantage. Early speed does win. It's the best place to be, middle forward. There is about 1 out of 5 that score from go to photo. The rail is fair for Elodyne, 2-3 discounted, 4 through 7 a bonus, 8 and out. They play fair. As it is at the Churchill track, Terry, speed does have an edge, and looks like Tammy's Cruiser might enjoy that edge, though everybody except the one with some ability.
Yeah, all but the 1 does have speed, but that 3 shows quite a bit more than the rest. The 4 has an overlay from about 8 to 5, 3 to 1, and 3 has an overlay from, the 5 has an overlay from 2 to 1 to 7 to 2. And then the 3 has the only par plus number in here. The 4 and the 2 are the only 2 C-zone numbers.
Yeah, with 4 Normal Bernadette being the only one above 50. Interesting. This one has more speed than the rest combined. This one has more C-zone than the rest combined. Maybe Tammy's Cruiser with the lone par plus and a big shot to be on the lead. That's where we should be thinking about putting our money. Tammy's Cruiser being a closer, though. So if you look at that, a little bit of a left arrow horse. As far as our race shape, everybody middle back, the 1 and 7, they haven't finished within 5 lengths of the leader at the finish line. The 8 horse in here, blind speed, kind of blind in terms of what that horse will do at the beginning, the middle, or the end of the race. We do know so far of the horses that have started, the 5 horse, these 3 horse, and the 6, and along with the 4. Those are the most likely to be the ones that step on the gas when the gates open. The ones that'll have the most gas at the end, well, Pam. Well, Pam and Pam. It has the most early speed, some of the most late speed. Could be difficult to catch, which you can't pass. And then finally, Pam is 8 points clear of More Happy Hours. And then Noble Bernadette, these 3 clearly, the 4, 5, and 6, better than the rest. Maybe the 8 jumps up in there. Terry, what do you think?
Well, I like the 4 Noble Bernadette. She finished 3rd versus in her last race, 2 races, has a high percentage winning trainer and wins 20% of the races when taking a horse up 1 class. More Happy Hours is 6. My second choice, drops in class today, has a high percentage winning jockey. Tammy's Cruiser, the 3, is my 3rd choice, drops in class today. Her best dirt speed is fast among today's starters, and she has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Pam, that 5 you've been talking about, is my long shot. Finished 5th in her last race as the favorite, but the trainer wins 21% of the races when bringing a beaten favorite back again, and has a high percentage winning jockey. No additional bets in here for me.
Pam is not a long shot for Race Masters. Anybody else have any picks today, thoughts today they want to share with us? If you're watching on Twitter, kindly hit the retweet button. If you're watching on YouTube, of course, if you're watching on X, not only hit the retweet button, but also hit the follow us button. And you can also follow me at HRT Rich. I will be posting some new stuff pretty shortly. I'm working on the details. So you're going to want to keep an eye on that. I think it'll be fun. It'll be exciting. As far as I am concerned, Terry, I'm going to start with the 4-horse Noble Bernadette, moving up in class. I think this race was kind of weird for me because I wrote in my comments, mixed bag in its last race. There was some improvement internally in the race and some regression internally within the race. 2 workouts since, I hope, puts more of the emphasis on improvement. Tammy's Cruiser, that 3-horse, very strong chance to get on the lead right there, Terry. Big par plus number. I wanted to put this one on top because if you look at that May 10th workout, 47-4. That's pretty quick. So maybe the horse wakes up today and wakes up a very cold barn in Mike McCarthy. It's like if he's coaching in the playoffs. So at this barn, it's Churchill Downs, 16 races so far and only 1 second to show for it. And I've read in plenty of books, don't do gambler's fallacy that they're due until they start to warm up. Maybe the 3-horse will do that today. Talavera, the 7-horse, a long shot in here, Terry. It is the only pure maiden special weight dropper in the race. It's been off for more than a year, so maybe if people will shy away from that one. But the workups, getting prepared for its first race in 11 months, offer enough hope. And I think getting first Lasix can be additional benefit as well. And then finally, Pam Pam. Total pace, we saw 8 points clear of anybody else, but it still has to improve on its races so far to find the winner's circle. Maybe the class drop can equal that improvement. How long do we have to the next race, Terry?
About 6 minutes.
No, so we're hustling today. Beautiful. I like when we hustle. Clean and crisp. Tell us about race 6.
All right. In race 6, we're going to stretch out to a mile 16th. Claiming race, $50,000 claiming price. Per 66,000 for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upwards, which have never won 2 races.
Yeah, so we talked in the first race the mile race, about it being 1 turn. Here you see the 2-turn affair. It'll run a little bit more than 1 time around the oval. And at a mile and a 16th, despite the 2 turns in there, Terry, fast, baby. You got to be fast. Early speed wins. 26% of the time, the horse that has the lead at the quarter-mile marker still has the lead at the finish line. Looking at the post positions, inside 3 post positions, despite that turn coming mighty quickly, they have a little bit of a discount. The best place by a long place is the 4 through 7 positions. 8 and out is the worst place to be. So you want to be in the middle for some reason with some speed. In race number 6, Terry, is there any? Well, there's plenty of horses with some gas in here too.
Yeah, all but the 4 show some speed, but the 2, 5, and 3 have the most. But as far as I'm concerned, it's really anybody's guess who's going to get there because they're pretty close in their speed numbers. Mm-hmm. The 3 has an overlay from about 7 to 5 to 5 to 2. And the 7 has an overlay from 4 to 5 to 5 to 1. The 7 and the 3 show the only par plus numbers. They're a little bit low. And all of them show C zones, and they're all in the green.
Yes, and they're all about 50%, except Fasta La Vista, baby. That used to be your governor. What were you guys thinking? My God, were you guys all something? They put something in the water there, Terry?
I don't know. Maybe.
So the 6-horse here is Lone Speed, New Beat. If New Beat can beat everybody out of the gate, look out, because everybody else wants to close. I mean, that should really, really tip the scales towards the 6-horse, provided the jockey doesn't go out 5-6 lengths ahead of everybody else in the opening quarter and run in 20 seconds. How many times have we seen that, Terry?
All the time. It happens a lot.
Yeah, that's like, if there's one thing that drives me nuts about horse racing, and I lay off the criticism of the jockeys because I rode a horse once, and I'll admit the horse did what it wanted to do, had no thought whatsoever about what I wanted it to do. But I don't understand why you need a 5-length lead and run a 20 when you can have a 2-length lead and run a 22.5 or 23. I just don't understand. Anyhow, it does look like, according to pace figures, now our simulations were different, but Pace says look out for the 6 because he's 11 points clear of everybody else. That means he's got about a 2-length lead from a pace figure to get in front of all these closers. And then he's got that lone E filled. At the end, the 7, I had that one too, and Malu, they're the fastest of the bunch, and they're 2 lengths quicker than everybody else. At the end of the race, the top total pace does go to Malu, about 3 points clear of I had that one too. Then Ladan, your speed horse, the 6 falling all the way down here. The tempo is going to be everything for the 6, Terry. Who do you think is going to score?
I like the 3 Malu. She finished in the money in her last 5 races at Churchill Downs and won one of the races. So she likes this track. Has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Number 4, Body Fairy is my second choice. She finished second in her last race. She has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey and a good workout on June 5th. New Beat, the 6, is my third choice. She drops in class today with and has a high percentage winning jockey and training. Number 5 is my long shot, Festa La Vista Baby. Won her last race at Churchill Downs, and she has a high percentage winning jockey. I'm going to play the last Miami Vice pick 4, and it's going to use the 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 with the 4, 5, 6, 8, 9. I'm going to single the 5, finish up with a 2, 3, 4. It's a $45 ticket.
So I'm going to go with the 3 horse too, Terry. My top choice, Malu. This horse is making the second start after a layoff. Its resume says the second horse race after a break will be better than the first horse race after a break. And that last one would have won this race. So any improvement could be tough for the rest of them to beat. The 6 horse has a good chance to be that lone E, Terry. Big class drop in here. If she gets the lead, good chance she does. Look out. They may not catch, all those closers may not catch that lone speed. Brodie Ferry at Churchill Downs. As we mentioned, a tricky track for a lot of horses, but 2 seconds and 2 races there. Just missed by a little, I think 3/4 of a length in the closing. Third up after a layoff. The only other time the horse made a 3-race cycle, it was the best of the 3. And then I had one too. I had that one too. The 7 horse. It actually is our simulation favorite there at a little bit under 1-1. Consistently put up par numbers for this level, but that was out in your neck of the woods. Santa Anita, Del Mar, the lone Churchill Downs race and the Churchill Down workout say maybe she don't like this track, but if she runs to her ability, might actually be the best horse in this race. Kind of shocked that it's not in Terry's picks coming from the West to the Midwest. This is the one I'm going to drop. I was going to do a $1 exact key box, the 6 over the 1, 3, 5, 7. I have to ditch $10. This is where I'm going to ditch the $10, Terry.
Why are you going to ditch 10? You only bet 10 so far, so that's 10 plus that's $20. So you're fine.
I had 10 to win on to 5, right?
Yeah, so you can bet.
But I still have a $12. I have a $12 a trifecta box coming up. So
yeah, I didn't see that. Okay.
Yeah. I think so. If not, then I won't delete it, but I'm pretty sure I did.
Yeah. There's a race is going off right now.
All right. So let's talk about race number 2. They're coming around the turn. Around the turn they come. And right now you have looks like the 5 horse might be the winner right about now. Nobody else is really coming. I need someone to close hard for me to get into this one. It looks like the 6 horse is my other pick. Well, I got the one. I had all. So who do I want to win this race? I think I want the 3 to win at 27-1. I don't have. The only horse I don't have is the 3 horse, Terry. Isn't that funny how that works?
Yeah, it is.
The 3 horse ended up winning that race.
Oh, boy.
That's absolutely crazy.
It is. And I didn't have it in my picks either.
Anyway, that one went off at 27-1. I have 1, 2, 4, 5, and 6. That is borderline hilarious, Terry, which seems to happen a lot, right?
It does. Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, they are showing the 3 horse. That's pretty. How did it? Star Nation. So what do we miss on Star Nation? The 5 horse is out there at 6-1. And he just kind of choked off at the end as the 3 ran by him. I almost started cheering for that 3 horse, but would have been a mistake. All right. So let's look at what we missed in race number 2 with the 3 horse. Claiming 10,000, so it's the lowest level there. Man, really not showing too much last time out. Maybe ran a little bit better fractions early on. Did improve here. Well, this is a hint sometimes when you see, and Craig Milkowski told us that from Timeform US, when you see the 2 early pace figures improve off the previous start, that is an indication that the horse is coming to form. I mean, but when you look at all these numbers here, that's just a case of getting beat, right?
Yeah.
Nothing to show at Churchill Downs. Nothing to show at the distance. It has nothing to show in 2024. That's just a pure random number generator horse right there.
It is, yeah. The only way to get that in pick 4 is to go all in that race. So
yeah. All right. Well, I guess we're going to go off to race number 7 now.
That's right.
Is that our destiny?
Yep.
All right. What do we got cooking here?
6 furlongs. It's a maiden claiming race, $50,000 claiming price, $58,000 purse for maidens, fillies, and mares 3-year-olds and upward.
And at 6 furlongs, you do want some speed. In fact, 1 out of 5 wins wire to wire. There is a rail discount, so far so good. Might have to work a little bit harder than its 15-1 odds. 2 to 3 get a bonus. 4 through 7 a discount. The best place to be in this maiden claiming race would be post 8 and out. In race number 7, we are going to get 1 horse that'll be race 8 and out. That'll be Rockaway Reef because of the scratch. Terry, who's going to have the lead?
Well, it looks like to me that there are going to be 2 horses trying for the lead, 4 and the 9. Although the 4 shows a little bit more speed in the numbers there, but it could be head to head. The 1 has an overlay from about almost 11-1 to 15-1, and the 9 has an overlay from about 7-5 to 9-2. None of them show any kind of par plus numbers, and all but the 2 show some kind of C zones, although a lot of them are pretty low.
Yeah, only the 5-horse stagflation, what we're living through now, right, as the only number above 50%. Our trip handicapping, 1 and 3, so far so good. Streets of Paris, they're going to give it a go for the first time. The 2, 8, and 9 in the races they've given it a go in, they've not been within a handful of the winner at the finish line. Of the horses with experience that have shown an interest, the 5 could be your pace setter type. 4 and 6, they want to ride co-pilot, but it does look like the pilot of this race will be Rose Alabama with the 9 horse, that never close horse, finding its way in contention early on. Along with finding its way in contention early on, it also will have some contention at the end of the race, Terry, along with Steam Punk, our top total pace duo in here. Well, Rockaway Reef, who gets that great post position on the outside, 5 points better than Steampunk, who's a little bit better than Rose Alabama. Those 3, notwithstanding the 2 first-time starters, could be where you find your winner. And it looks like, Terry, that's where you found yours.
Yeah, I like Steampunk. The 8-horse drops in class today, has a high percentage winning trainer who wins 26% of the races when he takes a horse from a maiden race to a maiden claiming race, and she has a high percentage winning jockey. Rose Alabama, the 4, is my second choice, finished 3rd in her last race, has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Wine and Waves, the 6, is my 3rd choice, drops in class today, has the highest last race speed rating, and a trainer who wins 17% of the races when taking a horse from a maiden claiming race to a maiden race. And then Stagflation, the 5, is my long shot. Her best dirt speed is fastest among today's starter, and she has a good workout on June 7th. No additional bet for me here.
I'm going to start off with the 8-horse. We have some common themes throughout the race card today, but Steampunk is your only pure maiden special weight dropper. No, not the pure, but is one of a few pure maiden special weight droppers. What I mean by pure is that they've never run in anything other than maiden special weight, because sometimes you'll see a horse run maiden special weight last time out, but the race before that was claiming 20 or claiming 50. So they have already made that class drop but not won. This is a 3-year-old that's getting Lasix for the first time. And the May 14th workout at Keeneland says she is ready to rock. If not, the 9-horse, Rockaway Reef, does have the benefit of the best place to be in post position 8 or out. This horse is going to make its 2nd career start. If it improves, like a typical horse improves in its 2nd race, should be enough, is taking a class drop and has a maintenance workout between races. The 6-horse, Wine and Waves, it's another maiden special weight dropper, really consistent in its first 3 races, but is going to have to improve to find the winner circle. And I'm going to go with the first-time starter. So far, so good. This checks off the 3 boxes I'm looking for. The trainer wins at 25%. So 1 out of 4 races when he debuts a horse in maiden claiming. Mama makes winners. That's what we want to see in there as well. And the works for this horse have been spot on. So maybe a long shot with the rail horse right there, getting a chance to upset it. This is going to be my 50-cent trifecta box, 1, 6, 8, and 9. and hopefully it goes in order from the highest odds to the lowest odds.
Okay.
Two races to go, right?
Yeah.
All right. Let's go to race number 8.
Okay. Well, it's a mile and 16th. It's an optional claiming race, $100,000 claiming price. The purse is $141,000. It's for 3-year-olds and upwards, which have not won 18,000 3 times other than maiden, claiming, starter, or restricted, or state bred, or which have never won 4 races or claiming price of $100,000.
I'll take winning $18,000 3 times, Terry. How about you?
Me too.
A lot of hundreds in here. You got $100,000, $141,000, and the average speed figure to win at this level is 100. I mean, essentially, this is a stakes race in terms of what the typical winner. This actually might be better than like a low level, like non-graded stakes race at Churchill Downs in terms of what it takes to actually win the race. At a mile and a 16th, we did talk about early speed being hugely important, Terry. Once again, it'll be important here today because 26% of the time they go wire to wire. The inside 3 horses, they get a little bit of a discount. The 4 through 7, that's the best place to be by a lot. 8 and out is the worst place. Fortunately for Giant Game, the 3-horse scratch, so it doesn't suffer that penalty, Terry. Again, with the exception of the one, a lot of horses can make a case for the early lead.
Yeah, it's really anyone's guess again in this race because the 7, 4, and 8 show the best speed numbers, and then the 5 has an overlay from 5 to 2 to 7 to 2. The 7 has an overlay from just over 5 to 1 to 8 to 1. The 4 has a small par plus number, and it's the only one that shows up. All but the 1 have C zones, although that 6 is pretty low, and the 8.
So we go with the green goes, right? The horses that have all green.
Yeah.
What do we call the all red ones? Runaway red. And yet,
yeah.
and it's even the red.
No play red. No play red.
And he's also, wears the red number 1. And he also somehow made my pick. So I don't know what the heck I'm thinking. Well, we'll find out in a minute. In the 8th race, everybody wants to be middle forward. So it could be pretty aggressive pace early on. You got the 7 horse in here, Super Cornito. That's got a little bit of versatility. So it can be on the lead if necessary. Can be patient if necessary. The 2, 4, and 5. Most versatile horses in the race. The 1 is a Lone P. These lone Sesame Street types are worthy of consideration simply because they're different than everybody else. And many times when you go back and look at it, those lone horses get really good trips. Salute the Stars and Super Cornito. So you got a left arrow horse and the EP type that could be on the lead. Maybe the 6 and 8 jump out, prove to be early speed that fades at the end. 5-horse Midnight Rising has about a 2-length advantage over Classic Catch coming down the stretch. And Midnight Rising is your top total pace horse, 8 points clear of Salute the Stars. Anytime you get above 5, that's a horse that's worthy of strong consideration. And Terry gave it his highest consideration.
That's right. I'm going for a hat trick on my pick of the day, as my pick of the day yesterday won and paid $10.80. So I'm going to go with 5 Midnight Rising is my pick of the day at Churchill today. He has won 2 races out of 3 starts at Oaklawn Park, finishing 5th in his last start. That was a grade 3 event. Drops in class today and has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Number 4, Salute the Stars, my second choice. He drops in class today. He has a high percentage winning trainer, wins 33% of the races when taking a horse from a turf to the dirt, and he has a high percentage winning jockey and a good workout on May 31st. Gasoline, the 2, my third choice. He has the highest speed figure at today's distance, has a high percentage winning trainer who wins 28% of the races in dirt starts and a high percentage winning jockey. The 7 is my long shot, Super Cornito, or Corino, whatever. Anyway, he drops in class today after running in a grade 2 event. His early speed running style helps his chances as he can improve at this shorter distance. And he has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey and a good workout on June 1st. I'm going to bet 6 to win and 10 to place on the 5. And I'm going to bet a $1 double, but I'm going to use 2, 4, 5 with the 2, 3, 4.
I'm going to start off with the 4-horse Salute the Stars. This horse ran one time at Churchill Downs, Terry, and guess what he did?
He won.
He finished in the winner's circle, and not only that, but it was by far his career best speed figure, and that was in a race where he's coming off the bench, just like today. On May 31st, this horse worked out at Churchill Downs, 4 furlongs at 47 and 4. You know what that is, Terry?
No, where?
Fast. So I guess based upon that race and his workouts at the track, could be a horse for the course.
Yeah.
Gasoline, the 2-horse, second choice for me. This guy's been an all or nothing runner at Churchill Downs. 5 races out, 2 wins, completely whiffing in the other 3. But his hits were at this level. The miss was at one of the misses was in the grade, I think 2 or 3 or 1 Clark. And in one of those races at Churchill Downs, I actually hit it 100 on the speed gun. That was his second start after a layoff, which is what this horse is going to do today. So I'm looking for a repeat of that pattern. Classic Catch. Boy, that red runaway horse just runs right into my picks. The horse is making the 3rd start after a layoff, but does, in its back class, have some of the most upside in the race. 2 workouts since its last start, including May 22nd, when he ran 4 furlongs in 47 and 1. You know what that is, Terry?
It's fast.
Hey, thank you. Catching on. Number 5, Midnight Rising. Terry's play the day. He is dropping from a grade 3. It's the first time the horse is going to run at Churchill, so we're not quite sure what he's going to do, but the workouts are solid. The only question for me about the 5-horse, Terry, is that when you look at the speed numbers that this horse has produced so far, it's going to have to produce its career best race, which is going to be about a 6 or 7 point improvement off of what it's done so far. I think it has the ability to do that. We'll find out if Terry's play of the day does make that leap today. And then if it's any comfort for you, Terry, I put it 4th. Race Masters put it 1st. Does that make you less or more comfortable with your pick?
No, I'm comfortable. I respect his picks. He does a good job.
All right, off to race 9 we go. It is the final race of today. Before we get to that, just a little bit of a preview for the rest of the week. Tomorrow, Terry and I probably start around 1 o'clock Eastern, maybe a little bit earlier than that. So keep an eye on our social sites to know exactly when we're going to start. What we usually do is put up the show about a half an hour before we go live. So you'll see that on YouTube. You'll see that on Facebook. You'll see the preview on Twitter. The best way to make sure you don't miss any of that is to follow us on all of our social sites. You see them streaming down there below. Only 1 out of 10 click or follow or hit the like button. Please be part of the 1 out of 10. And then Friday we'll be off, but we'll be back next Monday for 2 shows all week long, probably, except for Friday, because it is Royal Ascot week over in England. So Tom and I, 22-1 Tom and I, will be making our selections where bombs galore come home first. Terry, what are they going to race for before we decide who's going to come home first in race number 9?
A mile they're going to go. It's a maiden claiming race, $50,000 claiming price, $58,000 purse for maidens 3-year-olds and upward.
And at 1 mile, we did mention a couple times, it is a 1-turn mile. Should give a little bit of edge to horses with speed, and it does indeed with 1 out of 5. Taking the title, Wire to Wire. The wheel is fair for Burn and Hot. 2 and 3, a bit of a discount. 4 through 7, a bonus. 8 and out is fair. Terry, for the last time today, where will the speed be found?
Well, all the speeds in that 2 position. It shows a lot of speed, so should have no problems getting to that quarter pole. The 2 has a small overlay from about just over 5 to 2 to 3 to 1. The 3 has an overlay from 2.5 to 1 to 3.5 to 1, and the 4 has an overlay from 2 to 1 to 8 to 1. 4, 2, 3, 6, and 7 all show par plus numbers, and all of them show C zones, although there's a couple of them pretty low.
And then for the last time today, too, our pace handicap, and look at 1379 want to be on the lead. The 2-horse, that McCall, that Burner that we saw, is not lead dependent, so he has all that early speed. Maybe he saves a little bit of it for the end of the race. 4 and 6, those 2 want to hit in the co-pilot position. So a lot of this race is going to be forwardly placed. That could really open up the door for a closer like the 8-horse Izoe, provided it has the late legs to take advantage of that. In the beginning, it does look like Macaw is the fastest of the fast in there, Terry, about a length quicker than everybody else. Burning Hot, the one to its inside, being the one that it'll have to clear. Looking at the late speed, Trump-tastic. Looks like it might be the one that closes out this race with the most oomph. Always Be Smart. Maybe too far off the pace to really use its late legs to advantage. Maybe pulls up into third, fourth to fatten up the superfecta or the trifecta. Our top total pace horse is Trump-tastic, leading in the polls in this case over Macaw. Terry, does Trump-tastic factor into your picks? He does, but you think that burner is going to burn right to the finish line.
Yeah, I think Macaw is going to win this. The two finished second in his debut race at Churchill Downs, and he only lost by a head. And he has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Number 4, Betera. He finished second in his last race at Churchill Downs, has the highest last race speed rating and the highest high percentage winning trainer. That Trump-tastic, number 3 is my third choice, finished third versus similar in his last race as a favorite. But the trainer he has, who's a high percentage winning trainer, wins 20% of the races when bringing the beaten favorite back. And drops in class today. His best dirt speed is fast among today's starters, and blinkers are added also. Number 7 is my long shot, Pursuit of Power. He drops in class today, has a high percentage winning trainer, and switches to high percentage winning jockey. No other bets for me as I'm out of money.
So Macaw was in its debut last race out. Was the 5-2 favorite. Looks like 5-2 is about the right odds here today. He is moving up in class, so that's a little bit of a negative for me, but does have a pair of workouts. If he improves at all in the second career start, it will be more than enough to score the W. Burning Hot. That's a long shot in here, Terry, and I hope it goes up to 90, 91 odds. I mean, if you look at the past performances on this Burning Hot, turf, horrible, right? Turf, horrible. Otherwise, he's been improving on dirt race after race after race. So I think you got to throw out those two turf races. Clearly, this horse doesn't like turf, and just factor in those dirt races, both of them, all of them, as he's trending higher. Looks like he can get there. Drops in class today, has a bullet workout between races, and the best race this horse ever had, was the only race Luis Saez rode. Luis Saez is going to see if he can get the best performances out of Burning Hot today. Pursuit of Power was a really tough call for me over the 3-horse Trump-tastic. But Jose Ortiz rode both of these horses last time out, and he's staying on Pursuit of Power this time. So he chose the 7 over the 3, which is what I'm going to do. I might regret that. Jose might regret that because Trump-tastic is dropping in class with that 6-point total pace advantage. That wraps up our picks for today. Again, I'm like you, I'm out of money, Terry. Our full picks for the day look like this. In race number 1, the 3-horse one running away. I think the 3-horse run race number 2 as well. So just bet the 3 all day, folks.
Yeah, the 3 did. I paid $50-some. So
yeah, and it was the only horse I didn't have in my pick 4, which is hilarious, right? Was how many? It's like an 8% chance that could happen, and of course, 92% chance I got the winner, and I am on the wrong side of that equation. Again, tomorrow we'll do Santa Anita. We'll make Gulfstream Park to make everybody happy, as those are the 2 choices for tomorrow. The free track over at Guaranteed Tip Sheet tomorrow. That's tomorrow. That's not promised, but today is already here. So Belterra Park is the free track today at Guaranteed Tip Sheet. There is a link in the description down below. In a few minutes, we will post or stamp all of the race times in the description at YouTube. So you can come back, rewatch race by race, in case you're kind of curious about what we said, or you want to review the data that we put up from our simulations. While you're at it, know that in about half an hour or so, we'll post up all of our picks and our comments, even less than that, for today at horseracingtoday.net. Again, a link in the description for that. And while you're there, kindly hit on the HRT gear link. Pick yourself up some wonderful Horse Racing Today gear so that you can look as pretty as the young lady in the modeling our Winner's Circle t-shirt. Any final thoughts from you today, Terry, before we part and start to practice for Santa Anita, where you should dominate since it's your neck of the woods?
Yeah, well, my final words today is I would really love for everybody that hasn't to sign up for YouTube, our channel on YouTube, and hit the little button, the little bell that tells you when all these nice programs are coming up. Also, go down and copy the link at the bottom that share with your friends, neighbors, and that, so that they can also come and take a look at us. And then go to our social sites at Horse Race, the number 2 day, and give us thumbs ups and likes. Other than that, have a great rest of the day, and I hope everybody stays safe.
Yeah, no matter what you're doing on this Hollywood Hump Day, we certainly hope if you're chasing your dreams, you're just trying to chase a little bit of lost sleep today and get caught up on that. No matter what it is you're trying to do, we certainly hope it's filled with God's grace, God's favor in every single thing that you do. Like the 3-horse out of nowhere ends up in
the winner's circle.
Yes, indeed. See you tomorrow for Santa Anita. Until then, have a great day.